All ages, welcome to day 4 of King of the Sea here on North America as we are bringing you the Sweet 16. This match between MHG and EPOXY. EPOXY has drawn the alpha spawn here for game 1 on Shatter. Zaf, talk to me about the EPOXY lineup.
Yeah, so EPOXY choosing to bring a Kremlin, a St. Vincent, both kind of built how you'd expect them to be. We see a Brizzy with torpedo focus. We got ourselves a legendary Des Moines, Guten Liu with airstrike setup as well as range. A Worcester Raptor, a Worcester, interesting. In front of him, we've got our favorite friend, Special K, with a legendary gearing torpedo spec. We've got Z42 with gun build, and finally another legendary torpedo spec gearing, heading towards the Charlie side. What do we see for MHG, sir?
Opposing them from the south spawn here on Shatter is MHG, bringing a Kremlin and a St. Vincent of their own. Corey Bassler's Kremlin looking like, now he's running the unique upgrade on Kremlin, Zath. You'll have to refresh my memory on what that does precisely. In front of him is Zeckles' St. Vincent, and Zath, I want you to notice early deployment. Both battleships headed to the western flank of the map. Going with them that direction is Holsch's Venezia, fairly standard build, a little bit gun reload there. And a Curious Shadows Yu Yang packing the radar there, and a little bit of gun reload. Headed to the other flank. Well, let's see. Zolu's Howden Liu headed up the 6 line here with a very similar build to his opposite number on the opposing team. We have Nuke's Des Moines running range Des Moines, a second Howden Liu with a range build as well as some airstrike focus there. 2 destroyers headed over here to sea. That's Memes Grozovoy. Unique upgrade Grozovoy, interestingly enough. I'll have to check that one out. And then Unsi's Kleber, which is a fairly standard gun reload build there with radio location. Now, before we get too far, we're going to start seeing some action shortly. Unique upgrade Kremlin and unique upgrade Grozovoy. Refresh my memory.
Okay, unique upgrade Kremlin, 18% to main battery reloading time. However, a negative 12% to main battery firing range. In other words, it fires more frequently, but you can't reach anywhere near as far as it could before. Kremlin, of course, well known for up close in your face battleship action. So
Yes.
not a bad trade-off for a Kremlin, especially on this map. And then as far as the Grozovoy is concerned, I have that pulled up as well. So that is 18% to main battery loading time as well. A little bit of a nerf to the turret traverse speed of 7%. More importantly, a nerf to torpedo reload time of 20%. So you focus it as guns. Everything else second.
Okay.
And a reminder that the Schlieffen was banned by both teams on this map.
No Schlieffen in this game, as some really, really aggressive, ballsy Kleber play from Unsi there picks up C for MHG under the nose of Big Boy's radar. Couple of salvos coming in, but none of them touching Unsi before he was able to sneak that cap in.
You know, I always talk about in replay analysis, like never have an island behind you, but that's exactly what Onoshi did.
And
he got away with it, which is brilliant.
I love it when you give that advice to people because you see it so often in random play, right? Destroyer captains will box themselves into an island and then they have nowhere to run. They want to turn and run and they can't. They have to. It makes their movements more predictable. But in that instance, it worked perfectly.
Notice, boy, I know, right? Going into the middle of the cap with the Z42 as well, just grabbing that under the noses of pretty much all of MHG. Zulu the Scrub trying desperately to Dutch oven him and failing both times.
Yep. Going in with the Howden Liu airstrike, not coming up with anything notable there. In fact, Nukes, Des Moines, and boy, I know, writes Zed just hydroing each other. Just, hey, how's it going? Across that island there on the eastern edge of the B cap. Not much going on over at A. Curious Shadows Yang starting to work the cap, drawing out a radar from Frosty Beverages Des Moines. They'll probably be able to push him back off the cap for a minute.
Yep. I'm interested in seeing... that's why. Okay. Beverages just outside of Curious Shadows radar range in the Yu Yang.
Okay. Got it. In other words, he's not counter-radaring because there's just no point to it.
Right. He's probably figuring that the Des Moines is behind the smoke, and that's a good guess.
I gotta say, Shadow is playing this like just unflappable, right? Like he's taking some damage. It's not catastrophic, and he's just doing his thing. He can't get out of the radar in time, but he only sneaks away about a little less than 4,000 damage out of all of that. That's pretty good. some solid destroyer captaining there.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Now, I think, Zath, if I'm Nuke, I am super uncomfortable in this position on the southeastern corner of the B cap.
You know, it's kind of a difficult place to be. Usually, and I believe Ascans mentioned this earlier too. Usually, we see Salem's on this map, especially
Yes.
playing around, as Bogsy called it, the Devil's Sphincter,
Yes.
because they have the ability to shoot things at long range and they can use that super heal.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. Nuke is, I mean, I don't like that position, but he's not really being punished for it just yet.
He's not yet. I would, in his shoes, I would feel much more comfortable with a Salem in that slot. They're pushing Zulu's Howden Liu out with the Hydro on to try and push Boy I Know Right back off the cap. That's actually letting Zulu start to cap down
Mhm.
here on the other side of Nuke. In fact, Nuke's now going to move up as well. But these guys have got to be careful. And what makes me uncomfortable, Zath, if I'm a cruiser player, there's a Kremlin in my face, and who's excited about that?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, gee, who's the Kremlin going to choose to shoot at, right? I mean,
Yeah,
he's got a selection. Not only is the Kremlin the threat, I think actually the bigger threat is the Wooster, because it can arc shells over
yeah,
islands that Nuke could normally hide behind.
agreed.
And we can see that happening right now. Nuke forced to use his heal. Radar's up. Now it's expired.
Nuke
It's a
still
moment.
spotted there by the Worcester radar.
Yeah, it's only a moment of time before he goes down, but you can see that Corey Bassler's Kremlin is also being brought up for kind of the opposite, right? Trying to get
Yeah,
Boy No Right Z42 out.
we talked about, you and I both generally will point out when we see battleships kind of in the same place on a map or whatever. And we pointed out earlier that both battleships headed to this eastern flank for MHG, but it makes sense now that because you realize where Corey was always meant to go is where he is at the moment, which is have his guns looking across the B cap.
So a little bit of insight. I was able to cover MHG's game. Who are they playing against? Off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. We did a COTS deep dive
Hmm.
during the week, and Zulu joined in and talked me through kind of how they plan for these. You know, they watch every single replay of every single opponent that they will face.
Sure.
They've seen their comps, they've seen the way that they position, so they do their homework. And I think it shows here. Everybody on MHG is placed exactly where they need to be for this map.
Absolutely. Now, MHG had jumped out to an early lead, grabbing A, grabbing C, but they're going to lose C now because the Brisbane gearing pair able to move up and kind of zone out MHG's destroyer team, the Grosavoy and the Kleber over here at the C cap. They shoved Moose's St. Vincent into the cap, but he was basically just drawing bait. Everybody shot at him while Stalin's gearing able to pick up that cap. And so now what is about a 70-point lead here for MHG going to start to close.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, just how many ships are currently just pointed at that B cap. Like, if you look at it, even Zekis' St. Vincent is being rotated now to try to make some sort of decisive play. Is he going to go up the channel, or is he going to keep going south?
Yeah, Zulu's making another play for B here. They've moved Nuke up into this gap in between
I love
B and
it.
C. Zath, you see this? I mean,
Hmm.
he's spotted. They know he's there.
And they
Oh, he
know the
takes.
St. Vincent is there
Oh
too.
yeah, and he takes a good solid hit there from the Dutch bombs as Vifire's Howden Liu takes some Kremlin shells in return.
Boy, no right is quite low in the Z42.
Yeah,
Spotted still.
I think they pushed the Des Moines up
Ooh,
here to get the radar on him
ooh,
to get him out, and it's going to happen right here
there
between
it
the Howden Liu
is.
and the bombs. Yep,
Secondary hit.
yep.
Took him out.
Nicely coordinated push from two MHG destroyers puts out EPOXY's destroyer here at the middle of the board. Our first kill of the game.
Zulu pops his Hydro, but it's too late to really dodge any of these torps that are incoming. He's going to take 2.
Yep,
Ouch.
that hurts.
That hurts a lot.
He's got a little bit of heal, but he's going to have to be very cagey about getting spotted for a little bit. Interestingly, MHG rotates Memes Grosavoy back to C. They've done a good job of pushing Big Boy's Brisbane back off the cap. The Brisbane radar is available. There it goes. They do catch Memes at the extreme range of it. Let's see if they can get the reset or not.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Gearing Stone's waifu is smoking up. But Tangerines will get some nice shots in. Oh, there goes
Oh,
Zulu. He flooded
Zulu.
out.
Oh, he flooded out. I hadn't realized he was flooding.
Yep,
That's
and Nuke is almost gone too already.
yeah. They're pushing. Yep, they decided the St. Vincent could handle this, and he absolutely can. MHG down one ship, about to lose another, trying to pick up C here. Looks like they might be able to do it, but I gotta say, the Howden Liu and the Grozavoy getting pushed with the St. Vincent. Ugh, that's not going to be comfortable at all.
Speaking of St. Vincent, Zekis of St. Vincent did decide to go up the channel, but he's holding, and I don't know why he's holding.
Yeah,
What is the plan for this? Are they looking at Moose? No, he's looking at the Kremlin. Then just go ram the Kremlin.
He just didn't he get that torpedo? Looks like he got that torpedo into the Kremlin bow right there.
Yeah, I think so. He got the funny torp in.
They're trying to push both their battleships into the cap as now MHG owns no real estate on the entire board. They've been pushed off all the caps for the moment. Special Case sneaking into A, doing a brilliant job over there of picking it up. But now the Kremlin steps on to B.
Ooh, Memes took a big hit back there over at CCAP.
Yeah, he did. But I think his torpedoes are going to be very impactful against Moose here in just a moment. Moose is going to eat all 5 of those. It might be a death strike, Zath. It is!
Oh, it is! Big hit there.
What a massive kill for MHG.
And it saves Nuke. It literally saves Nuke as he was firing AP right into that St. Vincent.
Brilliantly coordinated play there. And now, just like that, MHG up a ship right back onto all the caps.
That's right.
So, pushed off of them briefly, but not for long.
Both battleships now for MHG stepping into the B cap. Here comes that funny torp again on Wolfman 85's Kremlin. I think he'll miss this time.
This one's going to miss. Yeah, the Kremlin reversing and tweaking his rudder a bit there. That one is going to miss. Now, the Howden Liu bombs
in the Venezia. At A, like just taking it.
Yeah, he charged in here after K rotated out of the cap. We saw that a moment ago. Zekis getting just hammered by the Dutch bombs, though. St. Vincent very vulnerable to that Dutch airstrike, not having a lot of deck armor. They got the Brisbane.
Tangerines takes out the the Brizzy. Look how close he was. He just went straight at the smoke, saying, "I don't care about this smoke at all."
Once the St. Vincent was in that gap, what was to stop Tangerines? Nothing. The Brisbane's not a threat to him.
Speaking of not stopping, Nuke has decided to just go straight at Vifire's Howden Liu.
So he is. They're focusing Zekis. Zekis now popping one of his fancy St. Vincent super heals as Nuke comes around the corner right into the stern of Vifire's Howden Liu.
Yeah, and Corey Vassler's Kremlin, he's just backing up saying, all right, keep advancing, Kobe. Keep going. I'm ready for you.
This might be one of the few times, Zach, that we've ever seen kind of putting the two battleships together to work in tandem work as well as it has.
Curious Shadow's about to get a brilliant deep water torpedo hit on this Wooster. He's got Hydra on. He knows they're coming now.
But he can't dodge them. Though. He can't dodge them all. He takes 2, actually. Goodness gracious, what a huge hit.
That's a big hit. Now, his DCP was available and running at the time. His heals up too. As Curious Shadow pays for his insolence at A. Zekis, though, quite low.
Zekis, I think, is finally going to go out here either to this strike or a secondary hit. Somebody's going to get him. They're going to get Vifire's Howden Liu. They're going to lose the St. Vincent. I'm assuming that Wolfman is trying for the ram, and it's not. There's nothing to stop it now. No, he's gearing up for the drive-by, Zap. Look at his turrets.
Yes, he wants to. He's doing the hero play. He wants the wants the ram.
He gets the ram, but he doesn't get to fire. Corey lives.
Corey lives.
Is he running a ram flag?
Oh, come on. Absolutely. You should be if you're in this point.
Wow.
Let's take a look.
I saw one.
Yes, he is.
I saw one. Goodness gracious.
And was the other Kremlin running a ram flag? Let's see. Yes, he was too.
Really? That's that weird ramming mechanics where when you're reversing, you don't take the same kind of damage.
Absolutely correct. Yep. Yes.
Well, it's now still a 1-ship lead for MHG, but their score is now over 250 points ahead as they own the B and the C cap. They're going to lose control of A, but if you're Epoxy, what's your way back in? I mean, I don't think you have one.
Look at this Kleber all the way up at the north on the 7 line. You see this, Raptor? He's like, yeah, you can sit and smoke if you want. That's fine. I'll just wait for you.
I'll just wait. I can wait you out. I can wait you out, buddy. Yeah, Unsi getting a little cheeky here, but I love seeing this kind of duel. I mean, in my opinion, this duel only ends the one way. I mean,
Yes.
if you're a gearing, if that Kleber has his reload booster available, and he does, I just don't know how you win that fight. Unless you get a
Memes
lucky
in
torpedo hit.
Yeah, Memes in the Grozovoy doing a nice job of smoking up Nukes Des Moines. Just little
Just in case.
insurance there.
Absolutely. Why take the risk? Why take the risk? Covey's Wooster also back in the fight now at over 11,000 HP. He was very low after taking those 2 deep water torpedoes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Think we're about to see the resolution of the Kleber gearing fight. Is Unsi going to take a torpedo? He is not.
Oh,
Oh yeah, this
Oni,
is gonna be over very quickly.
Oni just barely dodged those gearing torpedoes.
3 salvos. Unsi pulls the handbrake, and the last ditch gearing torpedo salvo is meaningless.
Super ultralight braking.
Indeed, 400-point lead now for MHG. Feels like they're in the driver's seat, Zath. I don't think EPOXY's got a way back in. Special K looks like he might be trying for a torpedo charge on the Kremlin. No, his torpedoes are all down. He's got 2 racks in the water already.
Yeah, I think he was hoping that Corey was going to move forward, or that MHG was just going to walk further into B. Kind of that default maneuver. I don't know what to do, so I'll just advance.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. K coming around the butt now. Corey might go down as Covey gets Dutch ovened.
They do get Covey with the bombs, and that's going to do it. We're seconds away here from an MHG win in Game 1, Zath. They looked really, really good.
Yeah, that's why we picked him.
Yeah, definitely.
Now this is a best of 3, so
yep, we'll be headed to Game 2 shortly. But I cannot get over, right? You and I usually, when almost, we've been doing a lot of King of the Sea over many years. And almost invariably, when you see 2 battleships on the same team going to the same flank, it is a strategic mistake. It's a failure, and it almost never works out. And yet here for MHG, I almost dare to say it looked like one of the keys to their win.
That rotation of the St. Vincent, absolutely to the south there. He had the option to go in the channel or continue going south to reinforce the Charlie side of it. He went through the channel, and it proved to be very, very decisive.
Yeah, absolutely impactful, having both battleships there able to hold that Kremlin in place and eventually pick up that kill.
Well, what do you say we throw it back to the studio and have them kind of do some analysis of their own?
Let's do it, baby. Let's see what Boxy and Niscons have to say. We'll see you guys for Game 2 in just a minute.